What's up, everybody? It's been a while since I did a straight up movie review on my channel, and this one I do want to try to keep it simple and quick and spoiler free. I'm definitely going to keep this spoiler free because the movie is still very new. I'm sure a lot of people have not gotten out to see it yet, especially Funko Pop collectors with New York Comic Con having just happened. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to keep it spoiler free, so I do want to assure you of that up front. And this movie, Venom, I actually did go to see it opening night. I went to see it Thursday evening. I really wanted to go ahead and see it right away and then give myself a couple of days to kind of process it before I shared my thoughts. So I have put a lot of thought into this, the things that I'm going to say here. So first of all, I do want to start off by focusing on the star, Tom Hardy, of course, because he was one of the big draws for this movie. Having an actor of his caliber for this movie is a big deal, Now, his performance, I would say in the first maybe almost half hour or so, however long it took before the symbiote, before he really bonded with the symbiote, up until that point, the movie for the most part felt grounded. I thought his performance was on point, not a whole lot of depth, but I was hoping that they would get more into his character. So yeah, solid up front, but then, to be real, I can't really address Tom Hardy without going ahead and addressing the tone of the movie as well. This is a movie that started off somewhat serious and just got progressively goofier and goofier. I mean, there is a lot of silliness later on in the movie. So yeah, I like that grounded feel that it started off with in his grounded performance, but the movie, like I said, it just got goofier as it went along, and a big part of that was his performance. I mean, you definitely have not seen Tom Hardy like this before, and I don't have an issue with him doing comedy. I think he can give a good comedic performance, and he really does excel in some of the comedic scenes. But at the same time, though, there were inconsistencies in his performance. Even his accent seemed to change some throughout the movie, and the way that he talked, I mean, just his inflections and his pacing with his what he said and everything, it seemed to be kind of all over the place at some points in the movie. So after having seen him in the movie Lock, which was a movie I recently saw on Netflix, that is an amazing movie. He gives a very great dramatic performance, and the whole movie is him in a car, and it works. I mean, he's the only character that you actually see on the screen, but it absolutely works. He's so compelling in that. So to go from that to seeing his performance in Venom was very awkward to me. It was almost jarring in a way. But like I said, I'll give him props for carrying some of the comedic scenes. As a matter of fact, I think there's a lot of the dialogue and a lot of the action. When I say action, I'm talking about comedic action that probably would not have worked without an actor as skilled as him. So he still deserves, some credit for his performance. Now, as far as the supporting cast is concerned, they were very forgettable. I mean, I don't think there was another character that stood out to me in any way, which is a shame because, again, there is some talent within the cast, but it just came down to the script. They were not well written. There was nothing compelling about them. This is a movie that really lacks depth. Like, it does not dig into the characters. There were a lot of people that were just kind of there, including the love interest. It just really felt like she was just there, and that's a shame because she is an amazing actress. But yeah, I almost feel like that part could have been filled by just any random, female actress. It just, yeah, nothing special. And the villain was very typical throwback type villain. I'm not going to say too much because, like I said, I want to keep this spoiler free. But he just felt very typical, very run-of-the-mill. He would fit right in with some of the weakest Marvel villains, from Marvel Studios. And by the way, I can't help but notice, and I was kind of grinning about it from the beginning of the movie, that there are 2 times before the movie starts, and this is not a spoiler, this is about the opening credits, where you see in association with Marvel. You see it twice, and each time it feels like it kind of lingers there. So if they were trying to give off the vibe that this is on the level of Marvel Studios films, no, this is definitely a different beast altogether. So don't expect that. This is very much a Sony movie, and if you've seen enough Sony movies, then you know what I mean by that. This is definitely a very Sony movie. That means that, like I said, not a lot of depth to it. It goes for a lot of cheap humor in a way, and like I said, some of the humor does work, but a lot of it, I think, is just not going to have those legs to stand up to repeated viewings. So as a popcorn type movie, you know, it was fun in that way. I think as far as the special effects are concerned, I do want to go ahead and jump to those. I thought the special effects were pretty solid for the most part. There are some moments that don't look so great, and including some stunt work where it's obviously not Tom Hardy, you know, but for the most part, the special effects and the choreography, I think they went well together. When characters got hit, I think the sound quality was there, like the hits had impact to them. The only thing I could say is the final climactic battle. Some of the CGI got a little bit messy. It was almost on Transformers levels, like the Michael Bay Transformers, where you could barely follow what's going on. It did have a little bit of that towards the end, but overall, you know, it worked. You know, so the action I thought was one of the stronger elements of the movie. Maybe not necessarily any action scenes that will be on your mind for a long time, you know, but yeah, I thought it was solid enough though. Now, something else I gotta say here, you know, the music. If music is really good, you either like it may stand out to you, it may stick in your head, or it flows so well with the movie that you don't even think about it. You know, the music choices in this movie were distracting. I hated the music, and I know there were some big name artists on the soundtrack. I did not like the music at all, and that you know, the song by Eminem is just terrible. It's like, that's like 90s, like mid 90s levels of cheese. Like this would fit right along with like or I should say early 90s even. Like you could put this track next to Vanilla Ice's song from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, like that, the ninja rap or whatever it was. Like, because to me that's the level that it's on. I absolutely hate that song, and like I said, there were some other terrible music choices as well in this movie, and it was kind of distracting at times. So I really did not like the music. Now, I'm not going to dig too deep into the plot. I will say there are going to be, you know, if you watch the movie, you'll see there are some obvious plot holes that just aren't going to get cleared up. I do feel like Spider-Man, I'll give them props. They made it work without Spider-Man, but towards the end, and again, I'm not giving any specific details, but when it came to character motivations towards the end, especially relating to the symbiote, it felt very lazy. There were some lines of dialogue that I cannot believe made it into this movie. Again, when you're trying to give a character motivation, a cheap laugh does not work. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible, you know, in terms of character motivation. And I think that's the only time that I felt like I missed Spider-Man a little bit, because I feel like Spider-Man would have given the Venom character more motivation to continue on. And, you know, yeah, that's where I miss Spider-Man. But for the most part, they made it work without Spider-Man. So like I said, I'll give them props for the most part as far as that is concerned. Now, something else I'm going to say, and this is just my personal opinion, you all could definitely let me know what you think about that. We have seen multiple comic book movies now that take place in San Francisco. Big Hero 6 was set there. It was a combination between San Francisco and Tokyo. But then also, you know, this same year, of course, we saw Ant-Man and the Wasp. I just don't feel like San Francisco is the best setting for comic book movies. It's just, the city seems way too clean. There's not enough verticality with the buildings and things. So I don't know. I just felt like San Francisco was not the greatest setting. That's just my personal opinion. And like I said, you all let me know what you think about that. I'm saying, you know, San Francisco definitely is beautiful. It has some awesome sights. The hills and everything definitely helped with the motorcycle action scene, which, you know, that was in the trailer. So that's not giving anything away. But overall, I just felt like it wasn't a great setting. You know, even though I know it's true to the comic book, it just didn't really work for me. The mid-credit scene, I will say real quick, horrendous. Again, it was definitely a Sony type of mid-credit scene, and I felt like it was very thrown together. I can't get into it without giving something away, but there was something in the scene. When you see it, you'll know there was something in the scene, I'll just say wardrobe related, in a way that was very distracting and just did not look good at all. So that mid-credit scene was just absolutely cringeworthy, to be real. So, I mean, definitely make sure you watch it. You know, it's, like I said, a mid-credit scene, so it won't take long for you to check it out. But it was very cringeworthy, and it doesn't give me the greatest vibe about where this series is headed. And I'm still confused about Sony trying to build up a Spider-Verse without Spider-Man. But, you know, we'll see how it works with the future movies. I'll keep watching them, you know, to see how things are going. But this particular movie, you know, my final verdict on it, I'm not going to give a grade to it. I will say, if you're looking for just a movie that's kind of fun and silly and you want to laugh with an audience, it works for that. If you're looking for a sort of a comic book movie that has some humor but also some depth to it, this is not the movie. It's really not anything like the Marvel movies we've seen recently. It might be closest to Ant-Man and the Wasp, but even that movie had more depth going on than this one. So yeah, like I said, if you just want a popcorn flick basically and you don't want to take things too serious and you can overlook some very obvious plot holes, then yeah, you might have some fun with Venom. And I will say this, I'm going to give this suggestion as well, that I don't think it's necessary to see it in 3D. I saw it in 2D because from the previews, I noticed that there was a lot of action and things that took place at night, and that doesn't always work well in 3D. It can be tough on the eyes and everything. And from what I saw in the movie, I just, you know, if somebody's seen it in 3D and you think it's worth it, definitely say that down in the comments. But from what I saw watching it in 2D, I did not miss 3D glasses on my face at all. I don't feel like there's anything that really would have popped out in an interesting way. That's just me personally, though, my opinion on that. But yeah, once you get a chance to see the movie, or if you've already seen the movie, definitely let me know what you think about it down in the comments. Do try to be careful about spoilers, you know, or if you're gonna put spoilers, give people that warning at least up front, you know. And at some point, maybe in a live stream, I'll talk more in depth about, you know, the spoilers of the movie and what I really thought in great detail about that. Now, before I close this video out, of course, I do have a giveaway to wrap up here. So I'm giving away the original 3 Venom figures that Funko created. That does include the original Venom, and then also the original Anti-Venom, and then also the original Carnage. Okay, so the original Carnage and the original Anti-Venom were Hot Topic exclusives. The original Venom was a Walgreens exclusive. I got all 3 of those together for one winner here. So I went back to the comments. Of course, I had to make sure that people actually did what they needed to with the comments. So I did a couple of drawings. I had a couple of people that popped up that you know, they didn't follow the directions, you know, so I had to keep drawing basically till I got to somebody that did what they needed to. And we have our winner here, and the winner of this giveaway, please make sure that you contact me within, I'll give you about to midweek of this week, let's say, you know, Wednesday. Definitely make sure that you contact me. You can email me at fmfunkonews@gmail.com, and I will have a way for you to confirm, you know, that we can confirm that it is you that I'm speaking to, and then I'll try to get that prize out to you. So for everybody that entered the giveaway, especially those of you that actually watched the video and entered the giveaway correctly, I do appreciate you all being involved. Of course, there will be more giveaways in the future, so if you didn't win this one, don't stress over it. It's not like you lost, because I always look at it with giveaways, either you win or you don't win. It's not like you're losing something because you didn't really, like, you know, put money into it or anything like that, you know. So yeah, you just have other opportunities in the future. But yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing what other people think about the Venom movie. I definitely think the critics may have been overly harsh on it, but it's not a great movie though. It's an okay movie when it comes down to it. But that's my thoughts. But yeah, thank you all for checking out my review. Again, thank you all that entered the giveaway properly. Definitely appreciate that. And I'll talk to you all again real soon.